Hello, everybody. I am Jen Giggles, your game master for the Secrets of Small Gods. Today, we're doing a special episode. You've seen online that we have Haruna's, and shortly, fingers crossed, my life allows it, we'll have up one. We'll have up another one with Lila, who had a vision just before our pre-episode last month. So we're going to be going live with a special episode called Cults of Opara. And that takes place in the Shining Kingdoms region of Galarian, the world we're playing our game in. And we're going to be following two new characters, played by our usual members, Scruffy and Tensei.
Well, howdy everybody. I'm Matthew R. Dawson, aka Scruffy Wanderer, on the tweets and the instas. You can find me playing other than here over on my channel, which is Random Rhapsody on YouTube.com. So come by, say hi. Tensei?
Yeah, hello. My name is Tensei, also known as Nothing. You can find me primarily behind the scenes of the Bardrock network of shows, but today I'm here.
Yeah, welcome aboard. The screen's not going to change too much. There are no maps for this particular section of the story. It all takes place in a completely different city, and I've only got so much space that I can put stuff in on Roll20. And my maps take up a lot of space. So, today our main characters are Carbo Nara and Jack Thorne. And to set the scene, we are in a campus, a collegiate campus. Picture the old, really old Ivy League stuff, or, head over to England and visit any of their colleges over there, right? The universities over in Scotland or Wales, the older buildings, something of that nature, when it was closer to new, but still very ancient, because the kingdom is ruled by elves. And we're on this campus, and deep within one of the musty, book-lined halls, we find a elf just sitting around, examining things, reading papers, doing the usual thing that you would expect a college professor to do. And here is Jack Thorne, the professor of cults and mysticism within the University of Opara.
Absolutely. It is exactly as you say at a glance. It's Jack sitting at a desk with what appears to be a newspaper in one hand, a coffee in the other, completely black. Of course, the only way to drink it. But upon closer inspection, this is not like a Daily Gazette. This is not anything of the sort. This is an occult tabloid, as he is following up on the most wild of stories throughout town. What is that?
The most wild story that you have ever heard in town is that the Duke's child, so the eldest son of the Duke, the Marquis, is headed off to join a weird kind of strange cult that you're like, wait a minute, this one can't be true. Since you're in Talder, it's pretty standard, but you hear that he's headed off to the swamps, to start worshiping Tree Razor, which obviously can't be true because that's in a completely different kingdom where that is taking place. And that'd be very strange for someone in line, potentially in line for the throne, to go there.
But every story has at least a grain of truth. Of course, it's sensationalized for these sorts of publications, but there's something there. Is that a case
could
for
be
Jack
something
Thorne?
there.
Perhaps. If somebody pays him to do it.
They pay him to teach, so, you know.
Yeah.
Now, from the halls, you hear your pretty standard clanking happening. You know this clanking. In fact, the gate is so familiar to you that you're almost certain that it is your friend Carbonara coming down the hall. You've spent many cases assisting this champion of the people, this defender of the gods, this agent of good. But you're still not 100% sure it's him coming down the road or the hallway. But you're fairly certain, because who else would be coming down the hall this early in the morning wearing full plate armor? Or I should say metallic armor, I should say. I don't remember if you've got full plate or not.
Oh, it definitely is. It's full plate armor.
Full plate, yeah. Wearing full plate armor.
Yeah, so I suppose when the door opens, you see just this very tall, broad-shouldered half-elf wearing, as Jen said, just full plate armor, which is it's highly polished. It's been immaculately kept. He has a long cloak just crossed over the shoulders that drapes down his back, but it's spread wide. That way everyone can see that gleaming armor underneath. He takes off his hat. He has a long, wide-brimmed fedora that he wears that goes completely against the whole concept of the plate armor, but he wears it unironically, and he just looks over towards his old friend, the professor. Hey, how's it going over there, Prof?
First off, excellent dialect. Of course, same old. Haven't had a case in a while. Getting kind of bored, but other than that, you know, life's good.
Well, the news then is good for you, because Carbo has brought with him a letter, still sealed, from a countess who seems to think something is going off within the nobility of the town, and the Empress can't really do much about it.
And you know, of course, this countess just has to come to me. I mean, just bugging me, dealing with I can't handle this stuff. This is your specialty, not mine. I figure if anyone I'm gonna go to you.
Carbo, my old friend, you've come to the right place, of course. Let me see it.
Pass him the envelope.
When you pop open the letter, flip it open, and you start to read, and it says, "Dear Professor Thorne, I knew that your friend would soon bring this letter to you upon me providing it to them. However, I am unsure of the exact peculiarities. Please do send me a bill once you know what's going to be happening for you. In the meantime, the situation is simple. The tabloids are only partially wrong, as usual. The Marquis is just seems to be getting involved in a cult, but I don't know which one. It is definitely not tree raisers. That would just be ridiculous. No, it is something else, and it is here in the city, and it worries me greatly. Please, investigate this at your leisure, but I'm not sure if time is of the essence. So I leave it up to you to determine what is next. Signed, the Countess of such and such a hamlet that you're like, doesn't she live like 6 days, like, carriage ride away? Why is she so concerned about what's happening here and now?
Of course. Countess of such and such and Hamlet, you have played me again. You knew this would get into my hands, and so... He stands up from behind puts the newspaper down, and from behind it reveals a matching fedora to Carbos and puts it on. It's like, the game is afoot, my friend.
I thought that would pique your interest, Professor. Let's get on this.
Quick to the time period appropriate vehicle.
Yes.
Well, since this is a kitchen sink game, roughly, and it's the Shining Kingdoms, that means it's going to be roughly falling about 1800s in and that weird stretch of time from when people were still wearing full plate armor to the French Revolution has already happened in one of these countries, and the final blade is frequently found throughout the kingdom, one of the kingdoms. I forget which one off the top of my head.
Fantastic. This is going to show that I don't know history very well. I don't know what any of that means.
It's okay, all the technology is just going by leaps and bounds and leaps and bounds and leaps and bounds. We never know what we're gonna find when we go to the corner, but we can hail a taxi no matter what. Hey, yo, taxi, over here! I just broke him. That's all there is.
A 2-seater, 1-horse hack pulls up next to you for you guys to climb in and start moving along, and start heading off with.
And I imagine just the spokes just go down as Carbo climbs into this thing. He probably weighs like an excess of over 100 pounds more than what his normal body weight is.
Oh gosh, yeah.
So it just lists to one side as we're riding down the street.
Yep. So
we've talked about this. You need to be like more in the middle. You can feel this, right? Like this is incorrect.
I try to sit in the middle, but no matter which way I do, it goes to one side, it goes to the other side, the horse gets spooked, and it's just crazy. We gotta deal with it.
The driver has shifted their seat, like it's got a and now the driver is sitting on the opposite side from you, so the two of them are kind of balancing you out. All right, I'll need a society check from both of you to determine where you're going.
Okay. First roll of the game.
Why 22?
That was just a 14 for me.
All right. So you both decide to head over to the Duke's court to see what is happening next. Being immediately related to the Empress is kind of a thing. And so having a court in town is a good place to start.
Well,
When you
shall we
arrive,
peruse?
good. The cat knows what we're doing. That's good. So you arrive, and you have available to you pretty much run of the household. So you're gonna come up, you're gonna ring the bell, and up comes the butler. Oh, good day, sirs. And how can I assist you today?
I imagine as we walk up, we have a very standard set of things that we do. We've worked together for quite a long time, so Jack here, he's the front guy. He talks to everybody. Carbo, what he does is he has a very particular talent. You know, he walks right behind the professor. He just kind of crosses his arms. He has his head to one side, and he just gives everybody the evil eye. That way, the professor seems like the accommodating sort, the more likely to talk to him, while he just looks big and intimidating. That's his job.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I was reading something else, and I think I missed something. We're at the. Did we go to the countess that sent the letter?
No,
to
no.
the- okay.
You're at the Duke's. You're at the basically at the Marquis's house.
Okay. Yes. Hello. My name is Jack Thorne, and I believe we have an appointment to see the Marquise.
Oh, let me see. I'll take your cards, please, gentlemen, and I'll see if everything will be available to you. Just a moment.
Carbo just glares at the man.
So the two of you are brought in. You put into the the front parlor, the sitting room where people sit and wait for anyone to find out. Yeah, things are working pretty solidly for you. Excuse me. You are in. You're in a pretty decent space. Things are well laid out, well appointed. It is worth more money than either of you will probably make in your lifetimes. To with some of the artwork that's in here and such, the fancy paintings. As an elf and a half elf, you can just know that the one painting that's glaring down at you is from a guy who's at least who died at least 6,000 years ago. I mean, you're elves, right? It's that kind of a feeling of ancientness brought in here.
This guy seems to be loaded.
Oh, of course. Everyone in the upper crust they live a different life than us.
Yeah, those 1%ers. God, I can't stand
them. But you can't let it show. For now.
He just gives that big, intimidating grin.
Soon after, the butler returns and says, "Oh, it seems the young master is not available at the moment. He is not in the house. I do not know if your appointment was actually happening or if he simply and forgot about it or didn't write it down. There is nothing regarding you here. I advise you to please come back tomorrow."
Oh, well, that is quite unfortunate. It is possible that I have also forgotten the location. Do you know whereabouts he went?
I'm afraid I do not. He did not leave any forwarding instructions.
I'd like to walk over to the butler and kind of drape a big old meaty arm across his shoulders. And I'm going to say, now, come on. We both know that your boss always tells you where he's going. It's not a good servant knows where their boss is at any given moment. And you seem like the kind of competent guy that is always on top of things in his house. I'm sure you know where your boss is, and it'd make our day to tell us that, and you want to make our day, don't you? As he kind of cracks his knuckles a little bit.
Roll intimidation.
25.
Oh, jeez. That's... Wow. Okay. Oh, well, it is possible. He frequently goes out to the Chesterfield Club and spends the night there. You may catch him there earlier. I would say if you get there within the hour, he might still be there before he leaves. That is the most common place that we have found him.
And what about uncommon places? Just so we know.
There's a lot of those. I mean, it's the red light district, so we don't like to know which ones he goes to. You know. The Chesterfield Club is your best bet, as I said.
Thank you for your trouble.
Yes, of course. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Sorry to bother. And Jack will pick himself up and say, "Come on, Carbo. Let's go find him."
Right behind you, Professor.
So you guys grab another hack. What are you guys gonna do?
I do have one question before we leave here. Did the phrase "where we find him" trigger anything? Like, is that just like a noble turn of phrase for like the places that he often shows up, or did they literally mean like we occasionally find him in places and like have to?
The latter. It's the latter.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So you guys grab a hack. Where are you going? Are you going to go to the red light district or the Chesterfield Club?
Well, I don't see any reason that he would have lied. We could always go to the Chesterfield Club, and if he's not there, reassess our assumptions.
Okay.
At the very least, if they if he isn't there, I'm sure somebody might know a little bit about him, so we could at least ask some questions, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. You
Hey, yo,
guys
taxi! Sorry.
You guys head down to the Chesterfield Club, and you enter the building. You run into yet another guy, looks almost identical. Yes, and how can I help you today? Looks like he's literally the brother of the guy you just left.
This is like a Nurse Joy sort of situation.
Kind of a Nurse Joy or Officer Jenny situation, yeah.
Oof.
Oh, yes. Sorry, you took me a minute. You look like somebody else I knew. Yes, my name is Jack Thorne, and I was told the Marquise might be here.
Oh, yes, we do have him. Was spending the night tonight. You'll need to wait to see if he is available and has an appointment with you. I'll be back in a moment. Please have a seat. He gestures to a small waiting room off to the side. You know, a lot of these clubs are the kind that you have to be a member to get beyond like a certain like 2 or 3 rooms. There's like an interview room and a guest room and a waiting room, and everything else is like private and you never get access to.
I'd like to post myself up in the door, like keep the door open and lean against the door jamb so I can see down the hall for anybody coming or going.
Okay. Okay. Let's see here. Just checking your stats. Okay.
It's always fun when the GM does that.
Let's have you both roll perceptions.
Okay. 27.
32.
A critical success. Nice. Nice. I think that's the first critical success on a skill check we've had. Had a lot of attacks and fights previously, but not on skill checks. So, I'll cover what you guys have seen in a moment. Soon after, the butler comes back from one of the upper rooms. Definitely, you could see him come down the staircase and comes back to you. And yes, I see. He is expecting an appointment this morning, but your names are not the ones he said he was supposed to see. Let's have you come in here to the meeting room, and we'll wait until the Marquis is down here and ready to speak with you. So please, this way.
Does this guy give me the impression that like a little gold might make things run smoother?
No. No, he does not. This guy seems to be like picked entirely for the fact that he will not betray anyone in this room, in this club for any reason.
Professor,
I'm gonna.
What do you think?
Well, I think that we should, of course, do as the man says and wait. And as Jack steps up to follow and to move rooms, he sort of dusts off a shoulder where he's drawing attention to some accoutrement right there. There is a woven braided wool cord over his arm that signifies membership. And perhaps influence of some degree. I don't know. I'll leave that up to you.
Yeah. Yeah, he does notice, obviously, and he says, yes, well, I do know breakfast is being served. I'll be sure to bring you in some food momentarily. Today's breakfast is a couple of rashers of bacon, is some bacon and some, I heard they were doing eggs in the style of Absalom, and an interesting new biscuit which we just received the recipe from through Onderon, and I'm not entirely sure. It's brand new and has just been tried out in the kitchen. We'll make sure you receive those. Just a moment.
Oh,
He sits you down. He'll sit you down in the waiting room. There's a nice table you can have some meal at. He'll bring out, he comes back in with this, and there's a letter, a little note attached to that's on the plate that he presents you as he sets the platter down on the on the sideboard, so you can choose what you want to eat before he leaves himself.
Oh, look, they even got bagels and cream cheese on here. What a treat.
In fact, that's the new pastry. The new biscuit thing is something called is a bagel, and it is just served with a spread of cheese, and you've got bacon and eggs and a couple other things.
Hey, could I get maybe some smoked salmon to go with this, pickled onion, maybe some capers? That'd be great. Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. We do not serve those anytime after or should say before the before tea.
Oh, hoity-toity, huh? Come on, if you got it, you got it. Just hand it over. It's not that hard.
We do not, sir. We buy it. We go out and buy our supplies on a daily basis.
Daily implies that you have it.
No.
It's the day, is it not? I saw the sun in the sky. It's the daytime.
There's just a hand on one of your shoulder pauldrons, just let it go. It's fine. You don't need salmon.
So the butler leaves, and obviously Carbo is eating a bagel. Yes.
Yes.
What is Jack doing?
Oh, of course. Eggs in the style of Absalom are his favorite style of eggs. So that's obviously his food of choice, but we don't really know that much yet. I mean, until talking to anybody, there's not really a whole lot to piece together.
There is a letter for you.
There is a letter for me.
Yes.
Yeah, let's just open. Let's see what they got here.
So your court of mark is that you are a member of the Royal Investigative Service, and are authorized by the Empress and such. One of your prior adventures, you did a service for the Empress directly, you know, and in this case, the cord signifies that you have the Empress's authority to investigate potential threats to the empire, to the kingdom. So the letter states that something is happening here, but the butler is bound from speaking about it. That is all it can say.
I'm munching on the bagel, looking over his shoulder to read the note as well.
You might want to wipe the crumbs off.
I'm sure they're just raining down on you, because I imagine
Yeah.
he is at least a foot, maybe a foot and a quarter taller.
So I've got this letter like right sort of in front of me, reading it as there's a sort of a shower, as if you were eating a fucking granola bagel.
Right above you, and he's, oh, yeah. What's that note say there, Professor?
Something is strange, but apparently people have been barred from speaking about it. Hopefully that means literally speaking, because someone wonderful has put sign language on my character sheet.
Yes, indeed.
So what do you think? We should get out of this room and maybe go investigate?
Yes, perhaps. We do have a bit of rain, don't we? They don't want to keep their guests trapped in one room.
I mean, you've always been the stealthy type, Professor. I'm big and I cause commotion, so I can be the distraction, and you can get to work and see what you can find, eh?
Of course.
I did bring the tools, by the way. He lifts up his cloak a little bit, and there is like a carrying bag over his shoulder that he has filled with all sorts of knickknacks and doodads and whatnot. And one of them is the detective kit, which I feel like would be very helpful to you.
Oh, excellent. What? Always so well prepared. I love it. And Jack also like opens up a side of his suit, and like lined on the inside in little pockets are thieves' tools and infiltrators picks.
Okay, well, you just let me know when you're ready. I will make the biggest commotion about salmon that you've ever seen.
Oh my god. I don't doubt it.
At this time, there's a slight rap at the door. Yes, the Marquis is here, and will speak with you now. He has a few minutes before his next appointment. And in walks the Marquis, and he's, your typical 22-year-old slacker ass royal who has no responsibilities in the world right now. Yes, he's like wearing a dressing gown that's half open. He's got clothes underneath it that are wrinkled and messed up, stains in a couple spots. And he's like, oh, excellent. There's bacon. He just grabs like 5 pieces of bacon onto a plate and doesn't touch the eggs or the bagel. Then he goes and he takes the cream cheese and spreads it over the bacon and then makes a bunch of bacon sandwiches. A bacon and cheese sandwich. There's no bread. It's just bacon and cheese. And he starts eating it. So how can I help you today?
I don't know what a frat boy is, but I'm sure you're one of them.
He is the stereotypical rich frat boy, yes.
Well, it's been a while. I don't know if you remember me, but I just wanted to come and see how you were doing. And while he is talking in sign language is saying, do you understand this? Like, can you speak sign language?
Yeah, man, I'm doing pretty good. Things are great. I'm so happy. I do recognize you. You're that guy that saved my dad from that naval process, that naval crime ring. Yeah, that was really good. The butler is the one who replies to you going, "This man's an idiot and cannot sign."
That's fine. Oh, he's still in the room with us. Okay. Yeah, it was nothing, of course, all in the line of duty, and Jack is now having a second conversation with the butler. Has everything been all right?
So the butler then replies, "See me after the interview," and then steps out.
Okay.
Yeah, so my mom's good. My dad is still like talks your praises every day. It's kind of annoying at times, but I get it. They would have brought in one of those final blades from to use on him. That's kind of scary. Those things are really dangerous, right? Like, don't know. For viewers, a final blade is a guillotine with some magical effects. It means once you've used it, you cannot resurrect the person. It is the final blade.
It was the final, yeah.
There's a few other things, but I mean, when they say it, it's a capital F, a capital B, final blade, right?
Sorry, my brain went off in a completely different direction.
So he's, he goes on and on like this. What questions are you going to ask him?
That's kind of a bit embarrassing. I do hope he backs off soon, although it's been quite some time. Well, no, I'm just here to, like, is everything okay? How are you doing? Anything new? What's going on? And just very small talk, basically.
Yeah.
Attempting to discern, from the smallest of hints.
Roll a society check.
Okay. Give me 1 second. I don't remember if I have something that applies to this.
That the case with the Marquis's dad, is that one that Carbo was on as well?
Oh yes, yes indeed.
So,
In fact,
go ahead.
in fact, your good friend, it's a shared friend. She's just a famous writer. She doesn't go out very often, but she's a famous writer. She's a friend of both of yours. She writes the adventures of Jack and Carbo. And it's just a bunch of dramatizations of your adventures. And some of those have been published. That particular one hasn't, but she's got probably 15 or 20 of those little short stories out there.
Okay. So as the two of them are talking, Carbo's kind of leaning in his against the wall in his usual fashion again, and kind of reflecting on that case and how disappointed he was at the end of it that there were no oranges. But apart from that, he's just the muscle. So he's kind of just watching and making sure that nobody else is maybe listening in on this conversation.
Yeah. You can just do a perception check, see what's going on around here. If you want to go and look for magical things, that'll be like Arcana or Occultism or Religion, one of those three, to see about magical listening.
Yeah, I don't think I really.
What did you tell me to roll? I'm so sorry.
Society.
Okay. God. Okay. 19.
And I rolled a 22 on perception.
Okay. So just because I put it in chat and it amuses me, your friend is named Athena Christoph. So
got it.
And excuse me. So everything there seems to work. Just there's nobody really listening in. This room doesn't seem to have anything going on in it. So Carbo's not noticing anything, but Jack he's not catching exactly what it is. He's not sure, but there's something off about what's going on. Like he's talking about all the different changes and good things that are happening, but the reason why is always missing. And when asked, the Marquis is dodging around it. So that's kind of where it goes. It lasts about 10 minutes or so. And then, I'm sorry, guys, I've got another meeting. I'm going to have to ask you guys to head out of the room. There's only the one real, non-public meeting room here. There's only the one public meeting room, and this guy's not a member either. So, come on. I'll, if you got any other things, just send me a letter. I will usually reply within a couple of days. Yeah.
Of course, will do. Thank you for the time. It was good to catch up.
Yeah, thank you for checking in. Oh, that was really, really, really kind of you. Yeah. So as you two leave the room, and
as we're leaving the room, I'll walk by the guy and I'll just whisper to him, "Hey, your fly was down the whole time. Just wanted to let you know before the next meeting."
There is a massive panic. The chair falls over behind you, and trying to figure it out because it's a button-up fly, not a zipper fly. It's like a double button, so it's like double-sided buttons. Trying to figure out where he screwed up. Just a massive panic. Good news is he had screwed up his buttons, so he does think you were actually being kind. Not messing with him, but
no, he was just messing with him 100%.
He was, but the guy doesn't realize that because the double button fly is buttoned wrong, so he's like, "Oh shit."
I would tell you to stop doing that, but God, I love it. It's so funny every time.
The butler leaves The butler leads you into the guest room, into the guest meeting room, not the waiting room, the guest meeting room. He leaves and leaves the door open. And then when he walks past, there's a guy following him to the meeting room, where he drops off the other person that was following him.
Do we recognize that person?
You do not. This person is wearing a religious robe, but the hood is up indoors.
Do I recognize the religious symbol or anything like that?
Go ahead and make a religion check or an occultism check. Up to you which one.
11.
You don't recognize that symbol at all.
Hey, you ain't worshiping my God. Why do I care?
I got a religion. Do I notice it? Is 18 better?
18 is better. It is not one of the major gods. It is not one of the major gods. You're like,
Is there any iconography on it that could help me glean? Like, even if I don't know which god it is there any iconography that I could be like, oh, this might be the a god whose domain is...
Really? No. Nothing that immediately comes to mind. Your notice of it is kind of like, well, that's a really strange one. Like, Iomedae, you know who that is. Aristotle's bow and arrow is common. Abadar's key would make sense, but no, there's nothing. Even if it was Toreg, there's at least some dwarves in the city where that might be common, even if it's not a dwarven, even if it's not a dwarven kingdom, there's some around. But no, this is not one you recognize.
Do you point that out?
No, back pocket for now.
All right, so at this point, I'm going to you look at what you are as an investigator. You have clues that are in front of you. Do you know what those clues are? Do you want me to declare a clue?
Go ahead and declare a clue.
Okay.
I'll be really upfront with something, because I don't remember if we talked about it during. I don't remember if it came up during like our initial conversation before I started this game. I am autistic and I do not understand things that are not like explicitly laid out.
That's why I'm taking the moment to do this.
Yeah.
Because even I'm not autistic and even I miss all the fucking clues. So, right?
Yeah.
So you have a clue of the religious symbol, right? Finding that religious symbol would be a clue to try and track down, so you might know about that. You've got a few places you could do that. And then you've got the clue about finding the marquee around around the red light district randomly. It's not uncommon, but for the butler to have actually talked about it is a little weird.
Okay.
That even like what butler would mention that? Like even when pressed, they'd be like, "Oh, he might go to a different club," because those nobles will be members of like 2 or 3 different clubs and not really care about the rest of it. But no, that was a weird. That one was a weird one. So those would be the big clues.
Okay, so I feel like after like exchanging pleasantries and whatnot, Jack is gonna be a little bit blunt with this and just forgive my ignorance. I'm not 100% up on everything all the time, I don't recognize that symbol. Is it for a deity?
That is what we are told. The individual has been here a few times. They say it is for a deity. Not one that I am aware of. But then again, deities have fallen before, and we do not know them. It might be worth checking your libraries at the university.
I have a above board game question.
Mhm.
So we know from from the other side of the campaign that we've been dealing with like a lot of small gods popping up and weird stuff going on. How much of that information has gotten here to this city? Is that something that Carbo might have heard about, being a champion?
It's possible. Let me see here. That's going to be society. And both of you can roll society for this one to see if you've heard of this strange happenings.
19.
So Jack for sure has read about it. My question for Carbo is, does he also read the weird occultism rags or not?
You gotta be true to the character. Like I probably not.
Okay. Then it's possible that something had, like, some rumor has come through. Which god did you pick? I don't remember. Iomade? She's kind of a common one.
Let's go with that.
Yeah. Iomade is always a common one for good characters who are out as champions, right? Easy, pretty standard. She's the goddess of right. And, so it's possible that things have come through from the priests in your order that have kind of like, yeah, it's possible. There's something weird going on with the gods. Like basically you've heard, there's something weird going on. The gods are, the gods have been giving out more visions than usual, and I'm confused.
Fair enough. Yeah, I don't think Carbo would pay too close attention to it, but at least he's heard about this sort of thing before.
Jack, on the occultism rags, has heard that, there are cults of like 16 different minor gods that have randomly popped up. Obviously, not all of those are going to be true, but straight up in the rags, it's talking about, here's a half a dozen gods that were started to be worshipped this week, about every 6 weeks.
Yeah, it's
So-
one of them small gods.
Those small gods and their secrets. It's just so confusing,
I think this might come off as heretical to you, Carbo, but I don't think that us mortals are meant to understand the whims of the gods.
Oh, well, I mean, Iomade, she keeps us well informed. At least the higher ups. I'm the muscle, so I don't deal with that too much. The boss tells me what to do. You tell me what to do. It all works out.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. I think kind of above in verbal conversation, the three of us continue having a chat about the small gods and the rise and fall and how it's a little bit esoteric and doesn't make sense, and like just minor chit chat, not really discussing anything, while again in sign language we are having this secondary conversation. Hey, what's going on?
The only reply you get is, that's the one you must help.
That we must help?
That's like every time, like you can see like the hands like trying to tell you more, but it's like that's the one you must help is the only sentence that is able to be used in relation to what is happening.
Is it hesitation or is it like
Compulsion.
a more magical like binding?
It seems to be a very magical binding. Like they are bound from communicating this to you.
Okay. Damn, spoken does also mean with hands. Okay. Thank you.
Now, when they say that's the one we're supposed to follow, who do they mean that? The unknown or the idiot frat boy?
You're not sure. There's no clarification. Nothing else seems to be able to be signed about it.
Oh, we can't even do 20 questions of like yes or no.
No.
Okay.
I think, yeah, champions really don't have anything beyond like laying.
Oh god, do I have... Well, I guess... Okay. Thinking about this very like logically and how grammar works. If you were to say that without before leading having any like subject to it, it would refer to the most recent that makes logical sense, which would be the guy that had the symbol that we just encountered.
Yeah, that person would be connected to whatever that is, most likely.
Yeah, so that is the person. It probably refers to that guy, most likely. If I was being very, very strict and logical with how that sentence works. Do I designate that as like one of my...
Yeah, you can designate
as a
that
lead?
as a clue and go from there.
Okay, yes, I will designate that man as a lead, as a clue.
Yes, designate a lead or something like that. I forget what exactly the wording of the ability is.
Pursue a lead. Oh god, this is long. I'm not gonna read all this.
Come on, we want to hear it.
Okay, fine. You may spend 1 minute examining the details of one potential clue, designating the subject related to that clue as the target of your active investigation. The subject is typically a single creature, item, or small location, such as a room or corridor, but the GM might allow a different scope for your investigation. You don't need to know the identity, purpose, or nature of the subject, but you do need to be aware of their existence. For example, finding a footprint is enough to investigate the creature that left it, and seeing a hazy sketch of an item or location can be enough to start your investigation on that subject. Whenever you attempt a perception or skill check to investigate the designated subject, you gain a +1 circumstance bonus to the check. The exact checks that this applies to depend on the actions you use to investigate and are determined by the GM, but the checks to investigate are typically perception checks or skill checks that use intelligence, wisdom, or charisma. You can maintain 2 active investigations at a time. If you pursue another lead after that, the subject must be of a different from any of your current investigations, or rather, they must be different as far as you know. And you can give up on a current subject of your choice. Once you've given up pursuit of a subject, you can't pursue that lead again until after the next time you make your daily preparations. End.
There's a clause to that allows you to do it, that you have the ability on. We're not going to worry about it right now. What this means for you in practical terms is you're designating the holy symbol as the clue, right?
Yes.
So that's the thing you're researching to find out about. So now if you're going to pursue this lead, you gain a +1 circumstance bonus on any action that would actively investigate that clue.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, then we should also be able to add my detective kit to that. Every component of the detective kit is exceeding quality, and thus a detective kit adds a +1 item bonus to checks to investigate a crime scene, a clue, or similar details.
Yes.
You get a +2.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me hand you my my magnifying glass here.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't have a vial of cocaine attached to keep him from getting bored, we're not going to be running afoul of any weird American copyrights.
Jack takes the magnifying glass and like spins it in his hand a minute. It's like, this would be very helpful if we were actually near the holy symbol, but
Well, I mean, we know that they're having that meeting in the other room. Could we maybe go sneak and listen in on it?
oh, of course we can.
We meaning
All right.
you.
Right, of course, yes.
All right, roll your stealth.
Can I make a suggestion to maybe get a bonus on this?
Okay.
Can Carbo be himself and be a little bit of a distraction?
I was gonna suggest that too.
Not excessively, but can you like be outside the room and like have a conversation with yourself so that it is a very like normal a normal noise that would perhaps make it harder to hear me like leaning up against the door or whatever.
I'm sure. Go ahead. Give
Okay.
it a try.
Yeah, all right.
The kitty in the screen. Kitties.
Yeah. There's so many cats. Mine's right here, but she doesn't want to be like picked up right now.
Mine keeps rubbing against
11
my
plus
microphone.
whatever you decide to give me.
Okay. All right, go ahead and roll your stealth with a +1 bonus. The detective's kit won't apply to the stealth bonus here.
+1 would be 12.
Okay, so and then roll a d20, Scruffy. Let's see what kind of a distraction Carbo makes.
Okay.
You can apply. There's skills that could work. I mean, if you're
Could
I
I
would say
argue a society check? You know, I know
Yeah.
societal norms. I'm trying to go against them just enough to be a distraction here in the hallway.
Are you
yeah, that would
grumbling loudly to yourself about how salmon is unavailable?
Yes,
At
that's
6 a.m.
exactly
or
what I'm
whatever?
doing. That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm just complaining loudly to anyone who can hear that, God damn it, they don't have locks. How can they serve bagels without locks? I mean, Loxley and Bagel, Loxley and Bagel. What a combination, you know? But I rolled a 13.
you're so the stealth doesn't work. You can't hear anything over the loud grumbling. Unfortunately, he's a little too good at what he's doing, at being noisy. This does result in the butler is just like, no, sir, we do not have any salmon. What are you? We do not buy salmon in the mornings.
That's
It is
just
served
ridiculous.
at tea time.
That is ridiculous. If you're going to have it at tea time, you got to buy it in the morning. That way you have time to prepare it. And if you have it prepared, then you can just give it to somebody. It's there. I know it's there.
At this point, the hooded individual steps out of the meeting room door and blows past.
Oh, hey,
grumbling.
excuse me. What do you think about salmon? Don't you think that they should be serving salmon at all hours of the day?
The individual does not respond. They just push past you.
Can I grab them?
Not really. That would definitely not be appropriate. But make a thievery check. Both either of you, if you want to try and take the holy symbol.
I feel like they're much better than I am.
I do have the thieves' tools.
Yeah, they do give you a circumstance bonus, which is weird, but they apply.
What's the holy symbol made out of, just so that I can flavor this appropriately?
It looks to be just like a mixture of iron with maybe some like gold filigree on it for the bits and pieces. Just like some kind of cast or poured iron.
Okay, so Thieves' Kit has like thin wire and like some magnets in it, and I've got one like tied around a string, and I'm just gonna like fling it out and try and like catch the thing on it. And that's how I'm gonna justify using the thieves' tools.
Nice.
Which thieves' tools are +1, right?
Yep.
Yeah, +1.
Could I just be helping by being distracting to give him a bonus on that?
Oh yeah, that bonus has already been applied to my totals here. You actually succeed. This thing is just a simple, like it has like a simple hook pin brooch, like the shawl pins that like the Scots wear on their kilts and on the on the and on the shawls the women wear. It just has a simple shawl pin hook on the back of it, so it just slides right off. It's not actually keeping the robe on; it just was attached by that, which is kind of strange when you think about it. But when you're running a cult on the cheap, you run a cult on the cheap, and so that just slides right off. That probably doesn't even notice for a good hour that the religious symbol's gone.
Yeah, you just keep walking. Don't even acknowledge my existence. How rude.
Yes, gentlemen, you must leave now. This way, please, please. And
yeah, no worries, Fritz. We're going.
The butler forces you out, leaving a jar of salmon pate in your hands and another bagel.
Ah! Hey, he wasn't as bad as I thought he was.
You can be very persuasive.
Just grinning ear to ear, heads over to go hail another cab.
So, are you going to follow the lead of the holy symbol or follow the lead of the red light district?
What time of day is it?
It is still like 10 a.m.
I think.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think red light district is definitely more of like a nighttime sort of pursuit.
Yeah.
But sorry, again, I went off on a weird brain tangent. Yeah, investigating the holy symbol will hopefully give us locations, especially if something is very new. That means something is very interesting and people like to report on it. So we might get more than just like a basic description of the deity. We might get like, oh, what are their followers doing, and that sort of thing. That would be much more tactical.
Yeah, I agree. Same page. Let's check out the holy symbol.
Okay. We'll have you two head back to the university then. And while you're there, you know, students are running around. You get interrupted a couple of times, but make a academia check.
I do have that.
You do. It is a lore. You may also use lore religion, whichever one is better for you.
I've got regular religion.
Or
But-
religion, yeah, it's the
Yeah.
same thing. Sorry.
Lorac, we're both so smart. We're both so good and so smart. 24 for me, 22 for my esteemed colleague.
It takes you a few hours. You've had lunch. Your students have helped out. Somebody is now writing a paper on obscure former religions of the kingdom that they had not been considering before. But this, this is the kind of thing that, professors forcing you to research something completely random and esoteric forces you to do in the end. You get everything you need. The information's right there. You find out that this is from a god that used to be worshipped like a long time ago. As in, it's old. The god is older than the kingdom, and would have been maybe probably one of the weird kind of early deities that might have been considered as a possible part of the standard pantheon before society really just kind of pushed them off to the side and they became obscure and forgotten in the end. And the god's name is Tuvil. Tuvil is how the elves spell it.
Okay.
And you're not sure exactly what the god's purpose. Like, many of the gods have purposes, right? Like, oh, Iomedae does this, or Toreg does this, or Calistria does this. These are pretty standard. Like gods have things that they do. This one seems to have just been there, like some kind of semi-divine, like this kind of divine accident of a being. Never really had a purpose beyond people would sacrifice things to it. Never really gave anything back as far as anyone could tell, because it doesn't, the notes are very bad. I mean, it's an ancient language, right? You're translating from these half ruined pieces of parchment and stuff. But from everything you can determine, this particular god was just considered a god that you sacrifice to avoid making angry, because nobody knew what it would do if it did.
Oh.
Sounds kind of like a useless god, you know what I'm saying? Iomedae, she helps everybody. She helps out all the people. She's a good deity. This one, I don't know. It seems kind of sketchy.
It is a little bit weird, but it's also not a new god. It's a very old one. And it doesn't appear to have more recently cropped up either. So this is... Do you think people are still sacrificing to it?
That would be kind of weird. Like, where would they be doing that sort of thing? Now this god, is there like any domains associated with it or anything like that?
The only thing that seems to be associated with it is death and destruction if you don't sacrifice. That's what people believed.
Yeah, old Iomedae, she ain't gonna like this god one bit.
Seems like it would be hard to be a champion of, I feel like. Still, if people are going to go missing and be sacrifices or offerings or whatever, then what better place to take them than the seediest place in town?
You do have a good point, Professor. If anyone's going to go missing, that's the place where nobody would be asking a lot of questions.
Exactly, my friend. I believe it's time to go missing.
Now, Doc, Professor, I know you're not the type to usually go into these sort of locations. Just a few words of warning. Number one, carry your gold on the inside of your pants, not the outside. Number two, always tip the people who's serving you. And number three, always make sure you glove up.
He was definitely like appreciating the advice until that last one. Was like, yes, of course, thank you.
And as he says that, he pulls these gloves out from his belt and puts them on his hands. You know, sanitation is highly suspect over there.
Oh, that's what you. Of course, I knew that's what you meant. Yes. I can't possibly leave any fingerprints. That'd be horrible.
Oh, lovely. Yes. Yes. So we are at a wonderful halfway point in our story, give or take. So we're going to take about a 15-minute break. We'll be right back. You'll hear me do some more weird accents as we go, and we'll get more strange things from Carbo, I'm sure. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's time to finish, or at least get most of the way through, the last part of our side adventure. I am, once again, Jen Giggles. I'm joined by Matt, Scruffy Wanderer, and Tensei, who are here to entertain you and me and themselves. Because if you can't entertain yourself, there's no point.
Mostly ourselves.
And the best part of this entertaining adventure is yet to come. We are all finished locating some information about the mysterious god. And now, having located the details in the past and history of them, our detective duo is going to be heading off to the red light district with gloves on.
Yes.
Very important. Very, very important. Now, I don't know about you, Professor, because I feel like just walking around the red light district and asking about this god named Tuvok, it seems like it's going to be kind of complicated. So, what are your thoughts?
Well, we still have a little while before it's nighttime. It's still relatively mid-afternoon, I think, right? We can definitely look at if anyone has been known to go missing around here, or the opposite, appear here where people have to find them.
Yeah.
And it might be good to look at locations.
If that Marquis guy is meeting up with that cleric so often, he's probably at least an acolyte with them. So maybe we could also just ask about him. Where
Perhaps.
he's been recently? Has he been at one place in particular?
That's a good question.
We definitely could, but... Well, The Marquise doesn't seem the type to do anything unscrupulous, like pay people to keep his whereabouts secret or anything like that. I don't think he particularly cares, judging by his demeanor earlier. Yeah.
So, given that I've been there before, is there any place in the red light district that particularly caters to the hoity-toity upper class?
There's a few. There's a few places like that.
What's the most popular one?
Let's call it the Pale Blossom.
Pale Blossom. I
Lovely
think
name for what I'm sure is a lovely place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know those blossoms always got to be very pale there.
Roll a society check.
Oddly enough, another 22.
Yeah, you know that it's one of those Dhampir places. The places where the Dhampir are more commonly used for side, like not just the usual stuff, but like some other things that only Dhampir can provide.
So, Professor, this is the type of place that's definitely Team Edward.
Yeah. That's the Nobles are probably very Team Edward, yes.
Yeah, so, we'll just gotta keep in mind they like to bite the necks. They all gonna be we're not gonna be able to see them in mirrors and things like that, but definitely the type of place that someone very what's the word I'm looking for, very juvenile in the mind would want to go to. So that's probably the place that our Marquise will go.
It does sound like him, doesn't it?
Definitely. I mean, that guy, half his robe was uncovered. I could see the body glitter. It's just obvious.
Excellent intuition, then. Shall we?
Yo, taxi!
I love this idea that...
Somebody needs to clip that, please. Yo, taxi. Please go clip that.
I can make that happen.
I love this idea that, like, Carbo isn't just like, oh, hey, Halo Taxi. He sees one come by and, like, sticks his arm out and just, like, grabs it and stops it from moving.
Yeah, just grabs the reins of the horse.
Yo, taxi!
Yo, taxi, we're walking over here. Come on!
And we want to not be.
Exactly.
All right. You're all heading off to the Pale Blossom. When you arrive, a very mortal madam opens the door. Gentlemen, welcome. I need your promise that you are not here on one of those crusades that occasionally come into the minds of the religious, staring right at Carbo. You're not going to be welcome here if you're preaching at us.
Oh no, ma'am. You don't have to worry about that. This is a completely different type of call. Don't mind the armor. The armor is just there to look good.
Good. Oh, good. Please, come in.
Wait, hold on. Did we come to a house of ill repute wearing armor that takes like 30 minutes to get out of?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Good.
Yes, he did. I don't know about you, but he did.
No. Oh, no. Jack is in a little bit different attire. It's, a nice suit, a striking red tie, the matching fedora, but he's also walking purposely with a very slight limp because he has in his right hand a very ornate gold-plated cane with a snake design up around it, and it's like the snake head is like the hilt that his hand is on top of.
Okay.
Now, Carbo is just dressed the way he always dresses. Armor, cloak, fedora. He's got his shield on his back. He's got his sword at his side. He just looks regular. And he's well aware of the fact that it takes so long to get out of the armor. But you know what? The way I look at it, I'm paying for that time anyway. How I use the time is up to me.
Okay. Okay. All right. So we have, as yeah, as you've entered this brothel, this house of ill repute, this place in the red light district that has yet to turn on its light, has yet to to put out the flame behind the red glass to let people know it's open. You come in and you're brought into the front room, the main parlor of the place where clients will come and find the girl they would like to spend the evening with. There are girls running all over the place, a few boys running around, some people of indeterminate gender. You're not even remotely close to understanding. You're like, they went by so fast. All I know is they were a they, not a he or a she. And all of them are very pointedly avoiding where the sun is falling inside, except for a couple of them. There's some very definitely mortal people inside, a couple of big burly guys. When we say that, think of, you want to think of Punch and Judy. Silent, a little strange, and really, really big. Like the Joker's version of Punch and Judy, I should say. Not Punch and Judy, the hand puppets from England.
I'd like to, as we're walking in there, I kind of want to take the madam aside for a moment and say to her, my friend over there, the professor, never really goes into these types of places before, so I was wanting to do something really special for him, if you get my meaning.
I do, dear, I do. It's a little early in the day for anything special, for anything, let alone something special, but...
He's kind of old, he has to get to bed really early, wants to get to the early bird special over at the Denny's when we're done here, so, I mean, you gotta go with me here. Now, we have a very good friend of ours, you may know them, the Marquis. And they told me, the Marquis told me about somebody pretty special that they see regularly here. I thought maybe that would be a good individual for my friend the professor.
Ah, yes, je ne sais quoi. The perfect choice.
Yes, Jenny. Yeah, Jenny Sequa. That's it.
I love that, like, same brain, because I was absolutely gonna go Janice Equa.
Yes, so yes, dear, let me see if they're ready. Yes, just a moment. And soon thereafter, a wonderful, a gorgeous human being. Well, dump here, really, but a gorgeous person comes walking down the stairs. They are the most elegant, sexually charged being you have ever seen in your life. But they are just perfect in every possible way. If you find this person attractive, you're gay, it doesn't matter, and yes, they don't care. Because everyone finds them attractive. Ah, yes. I understand that you're the professor and you would like a special early event.
Well, special is always good.
Well, follow me then, please. They take your hand and lead you up the stairs to their room.
Just the slightest of gentle hand locks, just the fingertips.
Yeah, exactly. Just like touch your fingers, and leads you away. What do you do when you get up there?
Yes, please tell us. Tell
Matt-
us what you do when you
Matt's
go.
distracting me in chat.
But
no, I wanna. Sorry. I know the end result of where I want to get. I'm piecing out how to.
Okay.
I feel like most of what this is going to be is conversation, and anybody at all, if they do something really well, they want to talk about it, right?
Yeah, most people, yeah.
So I want to have a conversation, and I want to steer it in the direction of, like, God, you must get a lot of, like, interesting clients here. This is probably the highest class place in this general area. Like, I kind of want to get into that and, like, maybe get them talking about other clients I am trying to get them to brag about the highest profile or the coolest people that they have entertained.
Roll diplomacy.
Okay. Okay. And I kind of want to weave lie to me into this.
Okay. I like that feat.
It's very good. 27.
Oh, nice. Nice. All right. So excuse me, you get them talking. Janae just pours their heart out about how much work it is and how they started out just doing the just voguing in a small little house, and were discovered and brought here, and they brought their skills were so much more appreciated here, and their techniques and talents. It is through this that you learn that not only does this house offer have a standard red light district thing, they compete against other houses in the district in something called voguing contests, which you had never heard of before. And it's all about the best makeup artists and styles and dance moves, and the techniques are beyond anything you would have ever believed when they demonstrate a couple for you, and you're just shocked and impressed. And that's exactly what they want you to be. They want you to truly appreciate this art form, both of their art forms, because they have two different things they're talking about. During the conversation, though, it slips out that the Marquis has left the house and doesn't come anymore. Hasn't for several weeks, in fact. Went to some minor little place called the Le Two, or something like that. It was such a... I've never heard of it, and no one else in the district has. We don't know where it's located exactly. It seems to be in a basement somewhere. It is the worst possible thing I have ever heard. It's like, why would you do that? I still get to see. Then she lists off like a half a dozen other clients, right? That by their titles, the Count of something or other, the Baron of something, the the Baroness of something else. So it just goes through a list of them. A couple of naval officers in there who probably spilling secrets that shouldn't be, but whatever. And they're just pissed because the Marquis is not who should be leaving this place. It maybe see a different girl or a different guy, whatever. It doesn't matter, right? No, they left the house completely and they're off to some place that doesn't participate in any of the arts of the red light district. It's just supposedly called Le Two, and that's it.
Two is in TWO or T is in TOO?
TU.
TU. LE
Two.
hyphen TU? Or
Yep.
apostrophe?
Yeah, as in the same the same spelling as the god.
Yeah.
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 Yep.
I'm not there.
Oh, well. Perhaps the Marquis just doesn't appreciate the finer things as we do. But if nobody knows about Le Two and the Marquis is left, then how did you hear about it?
There's rumors of it all over the place. Everyone hears about someone leaving for Le Two. It is the greater nobles, right? So barons and counts and the such are still here. But the dukes, the marquises, the marchionesses, the princes, everyone of any rank above count is leaving. They aren't coming anymore. And some of the more influential counts have already left. We don't know what's happening. It's only about a dozen so far across the district. But who knows? Could get worse. Might have to try something else.
It feels very specific.
Well, if it as far as I know, they're all members of a social club. So maybe they're bringing in privates. Maybe they're bringing in private, clients or something.
Okay.
So yes, they're all members of the Chesterfield Club that you were at earlier. All the people who have left are members of that club.
Okay. You know what? That's enough about work. Why don't we get to work? I hear you have a special. And we'll fade down. Hey, what's Carver doing?
We'll fade to black, and we find out what Carbo's been doing down on the first floor while this has been happening.
Well, while the professor is upstairs, Carbo went and headed over to the bar to, have a little chat with the bartender. Because if anybody has their ear to the ground, it's probably the bartender.
Okay. All right. What are you asking?
So I go up to the bar, nod my head over to the individual who's behind it, and when they approach, I'll be like, "Yeah, so can I get a glass of milk?" What? You got a problem with milk? And I'm gonna give them my intimidating glare.
No. They don't have a problem with milk. They're just trying to. The look on their face is first confusion, and then second, the kind of confusion that says, "Do I have any left in the back?" Not so much we don't do that. No, it's more like you're asking for milk. Okay, do I have any? So the eyebrow's like, wait, what?
Hey, it does a body good.
Yes, so that's not how that's not usually what they drink around here, And be right back. There you go. Couple seconds later. Might want to smell it first. Mine's a little broken, can't tell. That was this morning's, but it still might have turned. You never can tell.
Hey, it doesn't matter. Now, let me ask you something. You seem like the type that sees a lot of people coming through these doors. Now, don't get me wrong. I ain't asking about anybody in particular. I'm not asking for names or nothing. But you see a lot of people, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
He's
Yeah.
got... Go ahead.
There's all kinds come through these doors, everything from, a duke and a duchess at one point to, let's see, I think we had had a recently promoted lieutenant of the guard. I mean, that guy, I don't even think had a title higher than sir, like just been knighted kind of shit. And then now we got a professor. You never can tell.
Now, let me ask you. He's going to pick up a napkin off of the table, and he has the holy symbol that the professor nicked earlier. He's going to place that underneath the napkin and put the napkin down on the table, on the bar top there. And he's just slide that over, and he says, "Now, just take a look at this and tell me, have you seen anybody wearing these around?"
Oh, a few times, yeah. A few times. One or two of them came in. Weirdly enough, they've been showing up in these little club the wealthy wear those club pins, right? You got the Chesterfield, or you've got the Smith and Wesson club, or the Gnomish nerds clubs things. They wear those little pins like that. They've been wearing that one too. Like they got two of them on. I thought they only needed to wear it when they went into their clubs. It's very weird.
I don't suppose there's anybody in the building that's got one of these right now. You don't have to say it out loud. You can just nod.
No, not what I can think of. None of our staff would touch that kind of thing. I mean, it looks a little religious,
But you've been seeing them around the district lately.
Yeah. Have been, yeah. Former clients, they'd come in wearing one, and then they never come in again. It's kind of very strange, Like, what the heck? But then I've seen them, other people's, walking around with robes, like a monk. And they'll have one of those on like a string or pinned to their shirts. Hoods up, can't see them. Very harsh.
And where would you say the pretty much centralized at?
Oh, that's a good question. They all seem to be heading down to the old town, right? The part closest to the river, farthest from the farthest corner of the district. The one that was like early on starting out kind of thing. Houses down there are like nearly 1,000 years old, right? It's still got thatch roofs and shit. It's only a matter of time before they burn down.
Well, that certainly is a hazard to public safety. Perhaps my friend and I should go down and take a look there. Perhaps any particular buildings we should look at first, and he's going to set down a gold piece on the bar table.
Just grabs it, slides it across. Nah, unfortunately, I don't. But, Punch over there, not his brother, Pinch. Punch, he knows. He lives down there. He'd be the best one to guess. Pinch, he's moved in. He lives here now, but Punch, he has a missus. Or at least did. He lived down in that part of town.
Interesting. Hey, Punch, would you like to have a drink with me?
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. I can't have a drink with a client. Can't start my shift drunk,
We'll have something that's not so alcoholic then.
Oh, well, I heard about those new things they're calling virgin martinis.
Probably the only virgin here, but sure. Why don't you come over?
The bartender gets a look on his face that says, "What the fuck is a virgin martini?" He'll mix something up using whatever ingredients he has. He sets down something which, as Sir Terry Pratchett would say, seems to be a universal constant. Things randomly appear in every universe. In this case, it's a glass that's martini shaped, and there's olives on a stick in the martini. You're not sure what else is in it, but that seems to be the universal constant of a martini.
Why not? So, Punch, I've heard a little a buddy talking, saying that down near where your neck of the woods is, people are walking around with something like this, and he'll slide over that the symbol underneath the napkin.
Oh yeah, I've seen those, sir. Yeah, those people are weird. Like, they just kind of push you around. They don't treat anyone with respect.
No,
they're always wearing those stupid robes. It's kind of dumb, right? So what you got to do is about 3 blocks from my house. Like, it's just 3 blocks up from the river. I live right on the river. My missus loves the water. I hate the smell, but she loves the water. About 3 blocks up, right in there's they're in an old house. It's got a mixture of thatch and a red tile roof on it.
Well, good to know. Good to know. If I was planning on making a trip down there, to deal with these unsavory types, is there anything I should be aware of, keep my eye out for?
Well, we always hearing howls from inside of there.
Like the...
That's I don't know if they're dogs, if they're werewolves. I think the dogs, because it's not a cyclical thing, you know. Werewolves, they only come out like once a month or so, you know, kind of thing. But there's barking and howling. Like, I'd swear they were being the worst kind of people and doing dog fighting down there. If I didn't know any better.
That does sound absolutely horrible. Do you ever see people like patrolling around there or leaning against the doors, that kind of thing?
Never paid that much attention. I mean, look at me. Nobody's too concerned with a guy my size, as long as I'm not walking towards him with a mean look on my face.
You're probably right there, and he'll like clap him on the back, but probably a little harder than this dude can deal with.
Oh no, Punch can handle it, and he just goes, that's a good one, sir. Oh, hey, I think you fixed that line up, that itchy spot in my back. Yeah. He starts moving a little smoother than before.
I am pretty good at that. Well, thank you very much. I would recommend maybe not going back to that location for just a little while. You know.
I don't spend too much time there, but I'll have to be home to the missus by, first, early in the morning. She expects me there every morning. Don't know why. We could both move in up here. Plenty of room out back, they got a couple spare spots, but she likes the water. Yeah. Hey, this is really good, If you put some of that really, really strong liquor you've got into this the virgin martini thing you made, I'll bet you could sell a lot of them. Oh, thanks.
It's just air, right? There's nothing but air, because a martini is vodka or gin and vermouth.
Right. It's literally water and vermouth with olives in it right now.
Well, there's a little alcohol in vermouth. It is technically wine.
It's technically alcoholic, but when it's just a splash and nobody really cares.
Fair enough.
But yeah, it looks just like a regular martini, perfectly clear. It's the olives. Apparently Punch really likes olives.
Well, hopefully the professor's getting done about now and cleans up, and we'll be heading down soon.
So an hour or so later, the professor comes down, perfectly content and happy. Had a good time.
And completely fucking disheveled. The suit's open. There is body glitter all over. There's stains of unknown origin.
I'll just kind of nudge Punch as you're going down the stairs. It looks like he had a good time.
Our team here, we never disappoint. Everybody walks away a happy customer.
Jack gets over to the bar, slumps down. Just 2 knocks and then rusty nail.
Yeah, Professor, I got this for you. And slides it over.
A double is set in front of you.
It is. It's not supposed to be, but it's because a rusty nail is Scotch and a different Scotch. So
yep.
He just.
It's.
Oh shit.
They lost their.
Don't do that. Don't do that on stream. It's not fun.
Yeah.
It's a double. It's a double. So a rusty nail is usually like a Speyside with a eyeless or something off Islay, right?
Yeah.
Because you get that mix of those two opposite end flavors. You get basically it's instead of 2 shots of Scotch, it's 4 shots of Scotch. So you get a very tall glass of it.
Yeah. He just immediately downs it, like has his hand kind of higher up on the glass so that he can stop the big ice cube with the one finger, but just like it's all down, barely even a swallow, just throat open straight.
I see you
Well,
learn
that's
some
that's
new
the
techniques.
fastest.
Yeah.
That was the fastest I've ever seen anybody down that. Wow.
All right.
Pinch will be here. I gotta tell Pinch he got put to shame.
I hope that wasn't a detail of your time upstairs.
I got what I needed. Did you?
Maybe not the same way, but sure. Now
All right,
tell
let's-
him I'll whisper to him about the down by the river and all that.
You guys are heading out.
Yeah.
As you walk out, you can see that lights are starting to be stuck into the candles are being put into the windows, the red window square, showing that they're open, or some of them have hung a red oil lamp outside to light everything up.
So you got suddenly more sober. So you got a location then.
I think I do, Professor. Sounds like down there near the river. There's sounds like dog fighting, but I have a feeling it's something much worse.
Oh, that's excellent work. And Jack has been fixing himself up. Not really. He has been making himself look more like the Marquis. Because courtly graces lets me imitate nobles that I have seen. And he does that. That's why he's got he made very sure to get very messy at this place, and he's got that emblem that he stole earlier and is gonna pin it right here.
Nice. All right. So you guys have figured out where you need to go. What are you going to do when you get there?
I figure by this time I'm like buttoning up my cloak in the front. That way it covers the armor completely. It's still obvious. It's still obvious I'm bulky, but you don't see any symbology or anything like that. And he's gonna kind of fade back a little right behind the professor and be the muscle again. He's putting on the presentation of I'm a nobleman. He's going to be the bodyguard that's there to oversee his noble lord.
As we arrive, what does this place look like?
It is extremely a rundown building, right? Like half thatch, half red tile roof. The walls are not in the best of shape of any kind. Like the thing is absolutely exterior looks like the worst possible place to live.
Seems like the place. Let's just head on in. And I think there's no Jack's eyes are definitely examining the situation, but his gait and manner of carrying himself is very how he imagines the Marquis may have carried himself, very very full of himself, very I am supposed to be here, without being slow or cautious at all, and just opens the door and walks in unless there's somebody there to stop him.
There wasn't. You just walk right in?
Yeah.
All right. Little me, monsieur. What are you doing here? Comes a voice from a side room really quickly.
I'm immediately in front of the professor, being the bodyguard, and just grabs whoever's talking.
What are you doing? I'm sorry. What are you doing here so soon, monsieur? I did not recognize you initially.
What, is it too early? No, I'm supposed to be here, obviously. I can come when I want.
He comes where he wants.
No, monsieur. So roll intimidation. And Scruffy's going to roll intimidation.
Yeah.
Let's have you roll deception.
Okay.
26?
I believe with... No, okay. Never mind. That would have been a lie. 28.
And since you're following a lead, it's a 29.
Excellent.
So, thoroughly intimidated. This person is just, I'm sorry. It is, no. I did not mean so, sir. It is just so much earlier than your usual arrival time. Yes. No, you are free. Yes. Welcome, obviously. You know how to get places. I'll just go back to my room. Yeah, bye-bye.
Yeah.
And
you
just
do that.
hurries off.
Yeah, you do that. Clean your shoes while you're there.
So the door shuts on this little side room, and that's it. The person has disappeared faster than they showed up.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just gonna walk around like I own the place until I find anything of import.
Sure. Roll a perception.
Don't forget, you got my bonus for the detective's kit.
Yeah. A crit.
Wow.
Okay. You very quickly find stairs down into a much nicer, much more well appointed, and much sturdier built location. And in that same thing, also, you find a small library with some information in it, and stairs going even further down.
Well, they did say it was in the basement, so...
They did.
And if we're early, maybe we can interrupt something. Who knows?
Grab
Let's
up
keep
any
going. Keep
info.
descending.
Should we grab up the interesting stuff in the library?
You know what? Yeah, let's take a quick trip in there. I don't think Jack's gonna really dive in and read anything too deeply if nothing catches his eye. But I do believe Glean Contents is helpful here, where you can sort of read things as you pass by them without picking it up and...
Yeah, you have that ability to assess things. I forget what the name of that feat is.
It is called Glean Contents.
Yes.
Can I? There we go. I put it into the chat.
Okay, so make a society check.
I'm real bad at society. Despite my 13 in this, I'm real bad at society.
Right? This seems weird. So you do manage to glean that it's a few days until some event happens in which things of import are going to occur. You haven't been able to dig into it really hard, but you really quickly gleaned that you've got 2 or 3 days at most before some big thing is going to happen, which will change the fate of the kingdom.
Okay. I feel like when I find a document that states something that important, he will actually pick it up and read it for real.
Okay. So
keep an eye out while he's doing that.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you dive down into a couple of the letters, you basically have determined that they're intending to their sacrifices. The process of their sacrifices has been intended to change the nobility, change who is in charge of the nobility in Taldor, the entire kingdom. And so rather than the Empress being in charge still, they were trying to use some kind of magical sacrifice and means to swap her and put the Marquis in charge.
Oh. This guy
Even though
doesn't
he's
deserve to
not
be in
remotely
charge.
that close, considering he's not that close to the line of succession, like there's princes and stuff that should be in the way. Yeah, that's kind of strange.
Jack's gonna take those and put them in inside an inner pocket.
Okay.
Probably, actually, let me change that. Probably rolled up really tight and stuck behind, like in one of the little like pouches that part of his thieves' tools are in.
Okay.
So it's like real tight and it's not just kind of loose in there.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. Do you guys keep going further down?
Yeah.
Yeah. Keeping an eye out.
It takes a while, and you're a little surprised that it can go this deep next to the river, but it is bedrock. You have actually crossed into pure chiseled out bedrock. This is old. These stairs are old. They're a little slick. There's water. There's always some. It's a little damp. Smells like water dripping down this low. But you're going down into that bedrock. And at the bottom of the stairs, you come out and you find a room full of cages.
Anything in the cages?
Cages?
Cages.
Like bird cages, or like a dog kennel, or like people cages, like cells.
You're not. You'll roll a perception check at this one.
Okay. So,
21.
You don't. You're just like shocked at the sheer volume of cages, like stacked on top of each other, pushed off to the side. There are so. Jack's just in shock. Like, why are there so many cages? What the heck is with these cages? Carbo, though, notices that all of them are roughly, kennel sized. Like lots of medium to small animals would have been in most of these. Some are larger, like you could have put a person in them, but they would have also fit a large dog, right? Or some of them are small, like maybe a house cat or something could have been in one of those kind of things. So it's like a massive mess of cages of a lot of different types. You do find some of the cages still have living things in them. A variety of them.
Professor, that guy Punchy was saying that he heard a lot of animal sounds, like dogs barking and things of that nature. I'm thinking that this might be where they're keeping their sacrifices to that the tumor guy.
well, I guess it's good that it's not people, but
Mister,
what's
you're wrong. It is people.
what?
Soulless little people. You move around and you find a goblin in a cage.
What? Hey there, little friend. You know something about what's going on here?
A little bit, yeah. What you gonna offer me, huh? Get me out of here? Can you keep me safe if you do so?
Have you looked at me? I'm huge.
That don't mean nothing.
Absolutely huge. Of course I can take care of you. I take care of the professor all the time.
Professor, huh? You gave me a job when we were out, huh? run your papers around the university? Okay, I can do that. Guarantee me that.
I just
Well-
want to use my intimidating glare feature. I don't have to say anything. I can demoralize a creature without speaking.
This guy's just negotiating with you from inside a cage.
Yeah, I don't want him
Yeah.
to negotiate. I just want him to shut up and tell us what he knows.
Roll intimidation.
20. Dirty.
All right, fine. Jeez. Get that scowl off your face. It makes you look uglier.
This is just my natural face.
They're killing us too, right? So they started with the dogs and the cats, the yowls and the howls. Those were bad. Last night they killed two of my siblings. Killed two of my siblings. I don't know how many others are left. There's like another 7 or 8 rooms in here. I will get the guard and have him come down hard, but you don't got no evidence. All the nobles down here, it smells them. Smell the money on them. Ugh. Disgusting peoples. Too rich for my blood. No, they're too concerned with their own property. No, these people, they're just killing us like me, right? We aren't here, right? Nobody thinks about us, right? The little ones, the gnomes. Gnomes are all they care about here in this area, right? Here in Talda, nobody thinks about the goblins. We're hidden away. We're in the back alleys. We're the ones that nobody thinks about. They capture us, stick us in a cage, they kill us. It's what's been going on for decades, right? It's not just here, but everywhere. Somebody kills a gnome in the back. Somebody kills a goblin in the back alley. Nobody looks. Somebody kills a gnome. Somebody researches. I swear, just because we're communists does not mean that we are worth less as a people. Yes, some of us are firebugs and like to blow shit up. But no, we're communists. It's communal property, right? There shouldn't be a monarchy, right? None of these nobles. That's what we're against. And they're killing us for it.
This goblin here is spitting some truth. I'm not gonna lie. What do you think, Professor?
Look, the monarchy has served us pretty well. It has its faults. But we're not here to deal with that tonight. We are here to solve the mystery of what's happening. And Jack unlocks this cage but does not open it.
Yeah.
When the time is right.
When the time is right, huh? You're going to go open up all the other cages too? Or do you want me to do that for you?
I mean, we could do it together.
Okay, let's go do that.
I guess the time is right now. Yes, let's go.
That you find there's like 3 or 4 completely empty rooms that had a bunch of cages in them. And then you find another room, an entire room with around 30 goblins in it, in cages.
Whoa! That's a lot of sacrifices.
Yeah.
Is this your whole
yeah.
tribe?
Nah, not all of us. We're sneaky. But no, this is most of my family. They found us they found our warren and just rounded us up. They had a few of the guards in here, arresting us, claiming we were planning to firebomb the palace, blow up the palace. We aren't the firebugs that you find down south, okay? We do everything through education. We teach people how communism should work. People should own the means of production.
You're a teacher.
I've been a teacher. Yeah, I teach other goblins. I try and teach other peoples, I had a few dwarves that would listen at one point. That was surprising to me. Some gnomes. The gnomes are we're getting along with the gnomes lately, but it's hard to get some of them elves to listen.
I was going to ignore you about the job at the university, but actually, come talk to me. We might.
Really?
Yeah,
Really? That'd be great. Yeah. Teach the young. Oh, cool. That would be a great thing. No more teaching adults. Oh, I've longed to explore teaching the youth.
well, I mean, it is a university. There's still much older. It's fine. We'll figure something out.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Help me get my people. So let's get my peoples out of here. So she's unlocking cages as you go. And then you hear a big old thump coming from the center, coming from a little bit further on in the chamber.
Well, while they were unlocking doors, I was definitely keeping a lookout. So what am I seeing over here?
Roll perception.
22.
Yeah. Oh dang. The big guy's back. He's some kind of a executioner, right? It's not one of them final blades, right? It looks similar, but it's not, because it's covered in ruins, not in magical power, but in these ruins that do something different. So somebody was I when I got a look at it, it looked less like it was for, ending someone, not allowing to be resurrected, and more like transferring their soul to some kind of hell.
They really are trying to bring back the god.
That just sounds absolutely horrible. I think it's time we need to just get out of here and speak to the proper authorities.
Good luck with that. But yeah. There's a second exit, by the way. There's those stairs you came down, and there's another exit.
Where does the thumping sound like it's coming from?
The other exit.
And I think it's time we go opposite where that sound's coming from.
Okay. The goblins all rush out. Like, they run out. As you follow them up, you do find that the individual who had been on watch that you intimidated earlier has been overwhelmed, just swarmed over by the goblins. They've kind of trampled him on their way to the door because he got in the way. Just kind of been mowed over. They're just kind of flattened. But the goblins have mostly disappeared. The guy that you were talking with goes, "Hi, I'll see you later. Check out the university. I'll be at the university for you, Professor." Now, don't trust Captain Smith. Captain Smith I've seen him around down here. He's the one that arrested us. One of the other guards called him that. Captain Smith came down here. It wasn't, I don't know, he's some kind of count, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, don't trust Smith. Go with a different guard captain. He might help you. And then off into the darkness. What do you do?
Well, do we leave with the evidence we have, or do we disrupt things more?
What do you have in mind, Professor?
We can definitely cause some internal strife if when people arrive, start yelling at them about where are the sacrifices.
I mean,
might not be worth it. We do have all the evidence we need.
I'm always game if you are, Professor. I'm just saying that you can sneak around and do that sort of thing. Me, I'm kind of bulky. I don't hide so well.
You're right. You're right as always. All right, let's go back.
do we have a friendly contact within the guards?
I think one of you has a contacts feat or skill of some feat of some kind. Or did I not take that?
I
that
do.
one to
I
you?
do not.
Yeah, I'm a tank. I do tank things.
Yeah, I don't have a contact one.
Wise, that's it.
Oh, you keep moving. Okay.
I'm moving you back. Yeah, I'm looking at
Sorry.
it here. Because one of these did affect it. I'm trying to figure out. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't take that one, but you can roll society to find your contact. I mean, it's
Cool. Am I gonna roll above a 5? Probably not.
I mean, I rolled a 26.
As if to spite me, I rolled a 6 for a 19.
you
Sounds about right.
are like, I know a few. Jack's thinking, I know a couple of guardsmen, but I don't know which captain they report to or anything like that. And Carl was like, hey, I know a Captain Johnson.
Yeah, you know that Johnson. He's big with the guard captains. He always knows just right when to be there and to spout off. So let's go see Big Johnson.
You trust him?
Oh, I always trust Johnson.
It's not just because he's big, right?
Oh no, I mean, you know, if you don't trust Johnson, you never know what you're gonna get.
Let's just say you know him from church, really. And that's why you trust him, because he's also a follower of Iomade, right? Not just, I'm here to make a sacrifice. No, he's part of your group.
He's definitely Big Church Johnson.
It gets worse with every extra word we add to his name. Yeah.
So
right.
you do you find Captain Johnson at the guard headquarters, and you head back and you let him know what's going on and present him with the evidence. What else are you doing? Anything else with it?
I mean,
I feel like we should start exposing the fact that all these nobles are getting in with this cult. So we should probably see the heads up of Iomade as well.
yeah, because we don't have a lot of hard evidence on anybody except the Marquis, because of these notes that we picked up. There's maybe a couple other names in it, but the whole, like, it's everybody from, like, above counts would be, like, circumstantial hearsay, because it's just our word.
At least we can let the church know that this god is starting to spring up, that they're recruiting all the high echelon nobles, which means that they're probably leading up to a takeover.
Yeah. I'll leave that to you. I've never been good in churches.
It's okay. I always I feel like the church will definitely want to know this sort of thing. So God, what's a good church guy name? Let's go see Father O'Malley.
Hey, my son, how are you doing today?
Oh, Father, you know, I gotta confess this to you. We have evidence that there's another god that's starting to spring up. They got a cult around them, picking up people, all the nobles in the area. They're getting them to worship and to do humanoid sacrifice. In fact, it's a whole big thing. The professor, he gave me all of the research and all of the evidence that we got at their base. We were able to save the sacrifices, and so we're not quite sure how to proceed, given the fact that it's all these hoity-toity types, the 1%ers.
Oh, well then, we better get some word on. I'll pass this up the chain to the rest of the church here. Especially with the sacrifices thing. That's the Tarbafon kind of bullshit. That's not worth it. But we also need to go. Seeing you with the professor over there. Yeah, you'll probably want to go talk to the the royal family. I suspect if you can get in there, Her Majesty will listen to you again. Hadn't helped her before, huh? You go do that now. I'm gonna go talk to the rest of the order here. I'll send a message off right now. And at that, he hops out of the confessional booth and just whoop, runs off to the back of the church.
Hey, Professor, the father, he says that you need to do at least 6 Hail Marys, but before then, we need to go and talk to the king and queen, the queen specifically. He said he's going to give us a letter of introduction so we can get in.
You don't need one. You've helped the queen before. Jack has his corded his mark of service and his corded shoulder loop, so he can get into the palace and possibly still just see the Empress immediately. So
yeah, it's definitely one of those like walk up outside of their chambers, tell whatever guard, hey, I'm with the royal investigators, I need to talk to the Empress immediately, and get it in like 2 minutes.
Yeah. It's kind of like she has this weird public spy network that that anyone who is in the know just doesn't interfere with.
I bet you that she can get the smoked salmon whenever she wants.
I'm
Any
not
time
going
of
to
the
ask.
day. Any time of the day. I'm just saying.
All right, so you guys head up to the palace. You do have a conversation with the Empress. Welcome, Professor. How are you doing? I understand you said you had something important to tell me.
Yes. Well, I am well. I think the kingdom isn't. And he has a very different like demeanor voice, much more regal and refined when in this sort of company.
Oh, that's troubling.
We have uncovered a plot to dethrone you, and he
Are you
pulls,
referring to the thing that Captain Smith said the goblins were planning?
yes. It is related, but no. And
Related, but no. Now I'm intrigued.
It appears that a certain marquis is in league with, I guess you would call them a cult of an old god. I'm not certain of the particulars, but it is a god of death and destruction, and if revived, if brought back into the fold, I don't know how he's planning to do it, but it seems as if the entire royal line will be massacred. And this is a lot of speculation on his part, but he does pull out and present the letter again that implicates the Marquis, at least in this plot, and like
a couple of other people, yeah, and stuff, and she reads it and oh dear indeed. Yes. Have you spoken to anyone to have them start the process of arresting people?
My colleague did speak with the Church of Iomedae. But other than that, no. You are the only one that I have presented this to.
We also spoke with Major Johnson.
Right.
Captain Johnson.
Captain Major Church Johnson.
Yes. A good man, Johnson. I've met him a couple of times. He's quite thorough in his work. I have a feeling that he will get to the bottom of most of this now that you have uncovered the basics and the starting points of the investigation for him.
You know,
I doubt he would have found it on his own, though.
As a churchgoer, Johnson is very uplifting.
Yes, thank you, champion. I do understand. Now, as far as my dear nephew goes, well, perhaps it was a good thing that I have one of those final blades in the building. Yes. We will clear this up shortly. Thank you very much, and have a good rest of your night. You've been
Thank you, Your
dismissed.
Majesty.
You've been dismissed. You head off. Everything. You find out that within a week, like, there have been 17 executions of nobles, and a couple of houses have been completely wiped out, and new people have been replaced. You receive a letter of commendation, and you get visited by a little goblin man who, takes up the job as the new professor of political studies at the university. It's very interesting, because no one expected a goblin to ever be teaching anything. But yeah, you have solved the problem and taken care of the issues. At least most of them. You understand dozens of arrests have been happened all across the city in lots of different positions. But you never know. You never know exactly what became of the building. It was collapsed after Johnson cleared everything out of it. It seems they're building a monument on top of it to the to a number of lost sailors. Strange, because you'd never heard this was being planned before anywhere in the city, but all of a sudden, that entire block has been razed, everything's collapsed down on it, and they're pouring in cement to build a memorial to lost sailors.
A bit unusual, but it is a nice touch.
That Johnson and Seaman, it just always works out that way.
Stop.
Okay. So that is the end of our mystery in Opara.
Right on.
Any thoughts for me as we've done this side story?
Can we do it again, except we let the cult win so we can see a new god be born, and
yeah, that'd be fun.
maybe we do it in a way where we we replace the Marquis with the goblin that wanted to be the professor, so that he gets set up as the core of the world and or the core of this kingdom, and actually does successfully institute communism. Let's just destabilize the world while we're at it.
Hey, why not?
That's entirely possible. It's dinner time for me here, so I'm going to say adios, goodbye. What is that? So long, farewell. All that jazz. Have a good night, everyone. I enjoyed DMing for you. I'll see you next month for fingers crossed, our regular returning. Billy's had a lot of stuff going on with school, and Gwen had a lot of stuff going on as well. So they both bowed out to this week. We'll see what happens in a month. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.